The Parliament report captures many of the parliamentary issues that escape the glare of mainstream media. It provides a synopsis of the happenings that affect you, the Jamaican public. Stay with us in this inaugural presentation as we highlight the public's business in Gordon House. In this edition of the Parliament report, the Jamaican government pushes forward with plans to sell its stake in the Sandals White House Hotel in Westmoreland to the Gordon But Stewart-led Gorstew Limited. This latest move by the state follows a recent announcement by Contractor General Greg Christie that his office would conduct a special probe into the proposed sale. The Office of the Contractor General, the OCG, has raised a concern about what appeared to be secret negotiations between the administration and Gorstew to divest the government's stake to that company. At the January 11th sitting of Parliament, Prime Minister Bruce Golding said his administration had made a decision to dispose of its interest in the hotel. Gorstew and the government have agreed on a US $40 million price tag. He says a joint venture agreement inked by the former government in 2001 with Gorstew Limited to construct the hotel was racking up millions of US dollars in losses for taxpayers. In a statement to Parliament, the Prime Minister said there was no mystery about the proposed transaction. He said the normal procedures for divestment were not considered appropriate for a number of reasons. One consideration was that Gorstew had a right of first refusal if the government decided to sell the property. Golding instructed all government agencies to cooperate with the OCG in its probe into the proposed sale of the government interest in Sandals White House. At the end of Golding's statement, no question was asked by members of the opposition. Two members of Parliament, MPs on the opposite sides of the political divide in the Jamaican Parliament, on Tuesday rejected some far-reaching proposals in a report submitted by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, the ECJ. The ECJ is the oversight body with the primary responsibility for conducting general elections, by-elections or referenda. Junior Minister in the ruling Jamaica Labour Party government, Everald Warmington, and opposition MP Bobby Pickersgill dismissed sections of the report from the ECJ. The lawmakers say they will not support the ECJ report until radical changes are made to a number of recommendations. Warmington was upset over a proposal by the ECJ for the constituted authority, instead of the Cabinet, to give advice to the Governor-General to postpone a general election. Turning to the controversial proposal to make the ECJ chairman's salary equal to that of a senior puisne judge, Warmington said this recommended increase was offensive. He says members of the commission only work 4 hours a month and earn $8 million per annum. However, this was challenged by opposition MP Dr. D.K. Duncan, who recently joined the commission. Meanwhile, the junior minister suggests that the commissioners take a stipend and allowance for traveling if they are committed to helping the country. Warmington's comments follow questions raised by the Gleaner's Gather column on Monday, which criticized the high salaries of the ECJ commissioners. Pickersgill said he had made it clear to his party that he would not support certain proposals submitted by the ECJ. Debate on the ECJ report was suspended after Prime Minister Bruce Golding suggested that the government and opposition engage in dialogue on the matter. His suggestion was supported by opposition leader Portia Simpson-Miller. The media came in for sharp criticisms from some legislators who challenged members of the profession to establish the Press Council, which had been proposed for decades. Prime Minister Bruce Golding said he has been waiting for nearly 40 years for the fulfillment of a promise by the local media to set up a press council. This body would hear complaints from members of the public whose reputation has been smeared by unjustifiable reports published in the press. Parliamentarians were debating a report from a joint select committee set up to consider recommendations from the Justice Hugh Small Committee, which was appointed by the government to review Jamaica's libel laws. Central Kingston Member of Parliament Ronald Thwaites says he too is disappointed that the Press Council has not been established. Member of Parliament for North East St. Anne, Shahine Robinson, returned to Gordon House on Tuesday after her win in a December 20 by-election. The MP was ousted from Parliament by the courts last year after admitting she was a United States citizen, which made her ineligible to sit in the House at that time. Robinson later renounced her U.S. citizenship. Before we close this inaugural presentation of the Parliament report, we want to join with the many friends and former colleagues of the late former Government Minister Donald Buchanan to extend our heartfelt condolence to his widow, Dorothy, and children. This has been the Parliament report. Thanks for logging on. Until the next bulletin, I'm Edmond Campbell. Walk good.